2, 1. What's good, Council Comics? We have a green shirt guy.
It's 1 year later.
Phil's on the camera. We're talking about Andor.
Best.
1 year later. 4 years, BBY.
Hey everyone, it's Steve, full-time slave to the man, sometimes comic book artist, and you're watching Council of Comics.
Star Wars episode
4.
4.
Yeah.
Best.
The Battle of Yavin.
If there was some debate back of this is the best Star Wars show.
It is the best Star Wars.
Like there's other ones that I really like that are probably like right below, but this now is kind of paced itself into first by itself.
Yeah.
I think funny because I think Rogue One's the best Star Wars movie that Disney's done.
Oh,
Well,
the Disney's done.
this is leading up to that,
I really
so-
like Solo too, though. So
It's leading up to it, so it's good so far. They gave us 3 episodes. We get 3 episodes a week for 4 weeks. So first episode was 1 year later.
opens up
With him trying to heist the.
TIE fighter.
dope TIE fighter, and
A
you're like,
dope TIE.
oh, right. Of course, we never see it because he stole it, so they didn't make it anymore because he's a test pilot.
Yeah. So they.
But he's cute. Remember that when he goes in.
And what's Andor he's a little ruthless. He's a ruthless guy now. Like.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's leading up to his Rogue One ruthlessness.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
There's
But-
steps.
He had some
I mean, he was
ruthless
pre-
parts in the first
I was
season.
gonna say
Yeah.
he shoots what's his name when they steal the money. Remember he's like, "Oh, we'll just split it and go." And
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah,
"Oh
yeah.
yeah, boom," and then
Yeah.
tells
But now
them.
he's doing it for the rebellion.
Sorta. He's more of a leader now than he was.
Yeah. So he ends up stealing the TIE fighter. Shows him like trying to get out, which is pretty funny and
Yeah,
stuff.
because it's not the TIE fighter he thought he was stealing.
Yeah.
So he trained on a different one, and then he's like, yeah,
He escapes and he gets stuck in like space because he can't really fly it.
right.
But he learns eventually. He even hot wires it to get like the boosters going.
Did you see the snowtroopers with the fur?
Yes.
That was dope, right?
Yeah, that was dope. One thing about it though, if he couldn't fly it, he sure figured out how to fly it real quick.
Well, I'm sure that the
You know what I mean? Like-
controls are similar.
Because when he found out
Because
people were in
remember
danger, he was like, "I'm
yeah.
out."
Well, but remember when he's trying to shoot that big beam, the hyper green beam.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, I gotta hit this button. He was hitting the right thing, but he didn't do it right, and he's like, oh, I gotta flick this and then hit it.
Yeah.
So like it's probably similar though.
Yeah. And then he takes the TIE fighter, he goes to the planet we're supposed to meet up
Yep.
with his Connect. And
It's not
that
there.
Connect ended up meeting up with this
Right.
gorilla band.
Who didn't believe him?
Didn't believe him, and I guess
Now,
they murked him.
Do you think
and-
so?
I think they did.
I don't know
I
if they
think
did
they
or not.
did.
I think they probably did, but they don't. They never tell you one
They
way or
don't tell
another.
you. Yeah, yeah.
They were not an organized or a good
No.
guerrilla band.
No,
But
they're
Andor knew of them though,
Yeah.
because they mentioned who they are, and he's like, "Oh, you're the so and so." But the rebellion is at a place where they still don't talk about the rebellion.
Right.
Because remember, he doesn't want to tell them anything.
Right.
So they capture him, and then the two sides. I forget what causes the.
They're fighting
The-
over who's going to take over because their leader's dead,
Yes.
And
and they're like, "Well, it's
I
supposed
think
to
they
be
even
me."
shot their own leader. Like that
Maybe,
was,
yeah.
I think they
Yeah.
were just
So
like,
yeah, then they're deciding who they're fighting over who. So then they split. That's why they split into the two
Yeah.
groups.
And then it was funny. They were trying to pull the TIE fighter and make it.
Yeah.
They're like, we'll move it like so many inches per hour and stuff, and eventually.
And the other
And
group,
then the other group's like, yeah, we're gonna stop that real quick.
right? Well, and the other groups before that is fighting over what they're going to eat. And
Yeah.
all the food's moldy. It's like, well,
Yeah.
mine's just wet. I'm still going to eat it.
But they stopped that. He eventually. Well, they also show Brasso
Yeah.
and them. They're waiting for Andor to come back.
Right. And they're on a grain harvesting planet.
Yeah.
During harvest time, and they're whatever their disguise is that they're mechanics that are going around helping fix harvesters all over the planet. They're constantly on the move because the Imperials run that planet, but they're undocumented, whatever.
Yeah.
So if they get caught, they're going to get thrown in prison. Because,
undocumented like workers, and
Right.
undocumented like residents on the planet,
Right.
something like that.
Yeah.
they have IDs, but they're fake.
Right.
Right.
And then that episode leads into episode 2.
Well, and
Sagrona Tima.
well, but it leads into two. But the Mon Mothma story is that her daughter is getting married,
Her daughter's getting married. She's not too hot on it.
but
We'll
there's not
find
a
out
lot
by
she can do
episode
about
3.
it.
Yeah, there's nothing she can do about it. Lucian?
Luthen.
Luthen. He's still playing his role,
Yep.
but he's on point. Like he's like, this is what we got to do,
Yep.
and blah blah blah. And then his little sidekick that's always
Goes
getting
back
messages.
because she can't get any. She's kind of the connect with all the signals and back and forth, and she's getting no signal
Yeah.
on that planet, so she's got to go back. He's like, well, go, you're right,
Yeah, I can't
but I
go.
can't. You got to get a ride. She's like, no,
Yeah.
I think I got one.
yeah.
And Mothma's friend from her youth, who was they were big friends at the end of last season, and now it's like, look, I'm making everyone else is getting poor.
Yeah.
I should have made a better deal. Maybe
because he was supposed to help her. He created the fund for her,
right,
the foundation,
and now it's,
to launder the money or whatever.
And he's the only one losing money because everybody else is making
so
money.
they're afraid now that he's gonna snitch.
And like, what is it, Luther?
He
tells her like, I kind of told you.
Like he's
told you like you can't depend on people. Like,
I mean, you could say what you want about the gangster dude that is giving her the money, but at least that guy, he's not lying. He's right up front. He might be a scoundrel, but at least you know you can trust him because he is who he is.
Yeah.
And her husband's still kind of a douche.
On Mothra's?
Yeah.
Yeah, he thinks that she's cheating with the
but
guy. He's like your boyfriend.
Right, but
like that.
she thinks he's doing something too, right?
Yeah.
And I can't remember what it is.
A typical marriage.
Well, an unhealthy marriage.
Unhealthy, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the thing's still going on the Grain Planet.
Well, and the daughter initially is like, if you remember from last season, was very much like, I screw you, mom. Because she always hangs out with the dad. You don't care about me. And then she goes to her at one point because her betrothed is he's like a boy. He doesn't want to hold my hand, and she's like, and then right before she's about to get married, she's like, we can end this right now.
Yeah,
we'll just go. And she's like,
and the daughter's just like, no. Like,
why would I do that? I'm like, all right.
She knew like she couldn't really do that
because she didn't have the option when she married him, so she wanted to give her the option.
Which leads to the end, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. So leading to the third episode, which is the harvest. He gets out of the planet.
Yes.
By the end of the second episode, the spoiler reveal at the end of the second episode is that when he defeats the rebel guys, tricks them, whatever, gets in his ship.
Well, just the one guy.
Yeah,
because they're fighting amongst themselves, and they leave him guarded.
And they play some crazy game of rock paper scissors.
Yes,
rock paper scissors.
Yes,
he ends up escaping, and they show that
it was something rules. I can't remember.
Yeah,
it was really Broidy rules.
Or something like that. But he escapes, and the spoiler that the planet that they're on is actually Yavin 4.
Right.
So that's foreshadowing for them using that as a base later.
Yeah.
Episode 3, it starts heating up on the Grain Planet.
Mm-hmm.
They figure out, they're coming to check these things. They got to go somewhere. But one of the Imperials makes a move on Bix earlier. Yeah. And he returns now. And one of the scenes in Star Wars that we really have never seen in a Star Wars movie where he attempts to assault her.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And throws her against the wall.
Now,
all that.
I'm not sticking up for the Imperial guy. Let me just be clear with that. I don't think that happens though if the young guy hadn't gone to see the chick.
Yeah.
Because Brasso's not there because he had to.
The young guy ruined it.
Yes. If the young guy just sticks with the plan and doesn't go see his own chick, then Brasso doesn't have to run after him.
And if he didn't leave the speeder bike right in front of the thing.
Well, that too.
You know what I mean?
100%. Because they know what's going on.
They got a little sloppy with their... they did get a little sloppy.
Yeah, she wouldn't have been left alone.
Yeah, so Brasso tries to go save him, leaves her alone. The Imperial guy comes. She handles her business, though. She's been through so much.
Well, because the kid comes back and helps.
Yeah. But she was handling business before he came.
Well, the messed up part, too, is if you remember the black guy out in the Jeep, if you will, is like, what's going on? And then she comes out and he's like, I don't know.
The Imperial kills himself.
Yes.
He trips.
Yes,
knocks
he smokes
his
his
head.
Yes.
And falls down.
Yes.
And then she goes, he tried to meet.
Yeah.
But she blew him away.
Yeah. And then
which was a very strong moment, and that was pretty good.
And then Brasso is trying to run back to them to escape.
And they don't show, they just show the
him getting shot at. You see it go over him.
He's aiming, ready to shoot, but they don't show.
Right.
But Andor comes back.
And blows up that grain silo.
Blows up the grain silo, and he sees Brasso. Yeah. And he doesn't even let them, Bix and the other kid, see Brasso. He's like, no, we gotta go. We gotta go
Well,
now.
she's like Brasso, and he just goes.
Yeah. And then I like the shot at the end. It's just the two of them in the back, and it gives you that feeling
Do you think the guy that they were with, do you think he set him up with the Empire to get captured? Because it seemed like that a little bit.
Oh, the guy that 100% told on him.
Yeah.
I think he was getting money.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. But that last shot when they're in the TIE fighter leaving, those two characters are not going to make it. So it's he's going to be alone by that time.
Well, he's alone in Rogue One.
Yeah. And then at the end of episode 3,
we
go back to post-wedding. Luthen is Is Lucian or Luthen?
Luthen. Luthen.
Luthen, basically just telling Mon Mothma,
can't trust your boy. Yeah, we can't trust your boy. And then if you remember, her sister is at the wedding, and I don't know how much you got, because I rewatched the first season. There was a whole thing with the other chick where they can't be together because they're fighting for the rebellion, and that comes first, so they never see each other. And then the reveal is she's the one driving Mon Mothma's friend off, and they just kind of, there's a look like, yeah, I see you, but I'm about to do something. And then, so we don't see him die, but it doesn't look like
implied that he's not gonna make it. And then it just tops off at the end with the rave.
The rave, which you wouldn't think would work, but totally works.
She's like lost.
The music is actually from Andor, like the first season.
Yeah, right. She's like thinking about it, and she's just like lost. Just let it go. Everything, and she just like lets it go.
3 shots of liquid Molly.
Yeah, she was just going in, and I was like, that is dope. And it just ends with her raving out.
A little rave droid. Man,
that was dope. Yeah.
That's Andor, first 3 episodes.
Yep. And there was the Emperor, like the Empire, the guy and the girlfriend.
We forgot about Cyril.
Yes. And that whole plot. To take over.
So Krennic is back.
Yes.
From Rogue One.
And has brought in all of the best and brightest Imperial minds for the project, which we know, if you know Rogue One, is eventually going to be the Death Star, but they need a bunch of minerals for another project that they're trying to strip off this planet, and the only way to do that is to cause the government to fall
they want them to figure out how to do it, but then the older guy, I don't know who it is, and remember they're walking,
right? And she's like, I don't want to do this.
He's trying to tell her, like, this is a
gift. Take it.
Yeah,
you can only win here.
It's the only thing,
because the minerals they want on the planet they can make synthetically, but they're not as good. So they're trying to. And
Krennic asked her, how do we get this done?
Right.
You know, and it comes out that they would have to fake a rebellion to put it down.
Right.
So they can come in and take over the planet.
Yep.
Take over the planet.
Yep.
But the interaction with Cyril and her and the mom
is great.
You kind of find out they were dating now. Like
they lived together.
Well, you didn't. Yeah, because the last time you see him last season is where he saves her in the street where the uprising happens, and then she's like, "I should say thank you," and that's the last time you see him. So now
they're together.
Well, the funny part,
he's like, I should cancel it. She's like,
well, I didn't even know why. I immediately didn't think it was the mother when she said that. I thought it was going to be some Imperial person, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, it's got to be the mother. As he's turning the corner, I'm like, of course, and then makes a complete ass of herself.
She makes an ass of herself. She comes in. Cyril's fed up. He leaves.
Lays down. He lays down and just holds his head.
And she just goes into the mom and basically says, all right, this is how it's going to go.
I also love, she says that, and then the mom says something about, Uncle Harlow, and she's like, I've looked into his past. He's got a lot of criminal stuff in his past. Maybe don't talk about him anymore because it doesn't look good for you.
Yeah. And she basically sets it up like she's king of the household. Right. Mom's is going to obey everything.
If you want to see your son again.
If you want to see him again, yeah. And then when he's laying on the bed thing, they did the after behind the scenes. She didn't know where he was going when they filmed
is that right?
She didn't know that he's just going off scene.
Right, okay.
And he improvised that.
That's even
like
funny.
Laying on the bed.
And just like...
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. Uncomfortably, too, because he's not really on it. He's like half on it.
Yeah. All right.
Let's have some more cakes, then.
Andor.
How much... Hold on. And how about the first cake? She just smashes it into a pulp.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Who eats like that? But,
Andor, season 2. Episode 1, 2, and 3.
Big ups. If you're not watching the show, you're missing out.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Actually, the other thing I really like is that they're presenting it with 3 episodes.
Yes.
And they're jumping a year.
Now that we know we could do that, let's do that for all these shows.
Yeah.
You hear that?
Well, this show lends itself to that because you're getting like a 2.5-hour movie.
Yeah.
3 episodes.
Yeah.
And who's watching just one?
Right.
Like I watched 2 last week, and I was like,
I'd be upset.
It's like midnight. I gotta go to sleep.
I went through all 3 in one night.
Yeah, I'd be upset if it was week to week. We would have a problem. But it's not. And it's great.
Yep.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
The brightest day. Where are the